Good morning and welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy, and today's video is going to be a life update slash what I'm eating in a day vlog. So it is almost 8 o'clock and let's get started with our day. All right, this past week has been a lot. Very stressed out, still very stressed out. It feels like if it could go wrong, it went wrong, but it could have been worse. So I'm very thankful. And I guess you just say that I'm in a place where my mood's down, but I'm thankful. And I'm just trying to deal with what's currently on my plate. So let's go ahead and let's get our water made and our coffee made, and then we'll sit down, we'll have a little chat, and then we'll eat some breakfast. All right, so I am going to make my coffee, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get my food eaten because I'm hungry and I'm tired and I just wanna get done. So today I'm going to use my favorite mint chocolate chip Java concentrate. I love all the ones that I've tried of theirs, and I have not gone to Dutch Brothers in a while, regularly. Anyway, I went last week because I was up in the area, but other than that, I don't order coffee out anymore. I am sticking with my Java. We're gonna add some Chobani sweet cream, just a splash. I have my Stanley full of water, ready to go. I need to drink that. I should put some element in it. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. If you haven't tried the lemonade salt yet, it's amazing. It is my favorite. We've gone through almost a whole box of it. I like to brew some oolong tea and then put it over ice and then mix it with some iced tea for like an Arnold Palmer. It's so good. I do want to get my electrolytes in first thing this morning because I did wake up with a little bit of foot cramps last night. Not surprising, but it is what it is. Okay, so here is what I'm going to have to eat. Let me pull off the lid. I ordered this last night from Wawa. It's their Italian salad with spring greens, double the meat. I added egg and bacon. I'm gonna add something to it too. I didn't get any dressing on it because I like to use my own dressing, and I'm gonna use Primal Kitchen Italian, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to add an avocado. I'm still trying to make breakfast my biggest meal of the day. My avocados are going fast, so I will probably have another avocado later today. It'll be a higher carb day, but that's just fine for me. And these are mini avocados, so they're not quite as big. All right, well, I'm gonna go sit down and eat my meal, and then we'll have a chat. All right, I'm exhausted. I have a headache. I know why I have a headache. I have a headache because it's warm in here, and I did not sleep well last night because our AC is not working very well at all at the moment. Yeah, and I'm still feeling kind of puffy and swollen. It's just been a crazy week for sure, the past week. So it started with, I've been having some tooth pain on and off for a couple weeks, it was nothing major. It was just doubling down on oral health, things like that, and doing my best to manage it. And then on Monday last week, the pain was really, really bad, and I couldn't really eat. And I don't have dental insurance, so I was trying to wait. So we were looking at options for dental insurance, which I will be getting soon. But there was nothing they all had waiting periods and you couldn't get right away. So I tried to tough it out. Well, Wednesday, the pain got to be really, really bad. It's really bad right now, but I think I figured out why, and I'll discuss that more in a minute. So anyway, I went to work on Wednesday, ended up leaving early just because talking hurts and eating hurts and everything hurts. And it was so bad that I couldn't deal with it anymore. I was probably at a 10 out of 10 level of pain. Like, I was trying to eat and it took everything in me not to let tears fall down my face. I was stomping my feet because the pain was so intense that I just was trying to not do it. I'm not there today. It is worse than it has been the past couple days. But I think that's because I figured out that I'm clenching my jaw at night, which would explain why I'm having pain in my jaw. And it is mostly in my jaw. And then it affects, because it goes right along here. And there's one tooth that's very, very sensitive. But I do sometimes feel it in my upper teeth, which makes perfect sense. Well, anyway, after Wednesday, I just couldn't take it. I said, Matt, we've got to do something. I cannot do this anymore. This is really bad. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I'm still not sleeping great. And we just needed to deal with it. So we headed to an emergency dentist, which everybody was super kind. But I was there for like 8 hours. They told me there's nothing wrong with the tooth. The dentist really didn't talk to me. It just kind of, now that I'm a few days past the event, I feel kind of like I got railroaded. And I'm going to be changing some things soon. But she was like, I don't see anything. The tooth is not cracked. There's no cavities in it. It could just be like a gum infection. I was like, okay. I mean, that makes sense. I haven't been to the dentist in like 12 years. It's totally possible. I have pretty good oral health, but you still need to go to the dentist, and I haven't done that. Don't like doctors at all. It's very stressful for me. It's very traumatic for me. I've never really had good experiences. And so I was just kind of trying to be kind and understanding and listen to all they had to say. But at the same time, I was in so much pain. And the pain really didn't get addressed at all at the dentist. Came in, told me I needed my teeth cleaned, which is fine. I knew that. Like I said, they said it was a dental infection after they initially said my tooth was cracked. And I was like, okay. And then they came back and they said, we want you to go to a root canal specialist. We can get you in, here. And then it was just like, then they rush you out and they're just like, well, here's a treatment plan for you that no one discussed with you up front. And then, so I was presenting the treatment plan, and it was extremely expensive to do a root canal. Wasn't really told why they felt that I needed a root canal. Wasn't really told anything. And I was just like, yeah, I can't commit to something that big. Had to apply for financing, all this kind of stuff, because, we're talking several thousands worth of dollars of dental care right here at this point. And I was just like, I don't know. And then they're like, well, we could pull it. And it was about half the cost to pull it. And And so those were the only two options I was given. And here I am, stressed out. I'm tired, pretty much feeling like the same way that I am right now. Less pain, of course, but I'm still very tired, pretty stressed out. And so I chose to pull the tooth. So before I got up to go to the bathroom, because they were finishing up the paperwork. And before I come back, my husband's like, oh, we got good news for you. You're going to get your tooth pulled today. You're going to get a cleaning and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, whoa, that's really fast. So I had my cleaning appointment 20 minutes after that point, which is fine. I don't regret getting my teeth cleaned, nothing like that. Sign all these papers, all this kind of stuff, do the teeth cleaning, and then we had an hour and a half to come back. Well, I have white coat syndrome, and when I'm in pain, my blood pressure goes up too. So by combining pain and white coat and just being very overwhelmed by the whole process, my blood pressure was extremely high. Not saying that it wasn't. Well, they ended up not being able to pull the tooth. And I am calling that a blessing in disguise, because they kept saying after that, while they were waiting for my blood pressure to see if it would come down, that, why are you getting your tooth pulled? There's nothing wrong with your tooth. And I was like, well, I can't afford a root canal. And that's literally what I said. And they're like, but you could have saved the tooth. And I was like, yeah, but I don't have dental insurance. I can't really afford this. So it didn't go through. So they said that they can't pull the tooth without a waiver. So we get in the car and we get our daughter to work and we go to the emergency room because my blood pressure was very high. It was 220 over 110, 115. It was extremely high. So it needed to be dealt with. It was not something that I could just let go at that point. So we go to the emergency room and they're super kind in there. The one that we went to, they got us immediately back to the back. There was no judgment. When they asked me, why are you here? I'm like, my blood pressure's really high. So I gave them the recording that I had from the dentist and stuff like that. And they're like, okay. So so they started talking to me. So what led to the blood pressure? What really brings you in? What led to you to check? So I was telling them about the dentist. And so they looked at the tooth. They're like, we don't see anything. We don't see any sign of any infection or anything. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So I'm taking that into consideration. And then they were talking to me about pain levels and things like that. And I'm sure at this point it was probably pretty visible on my face that I was in pain. And I was just trying to be as joyful as I can be in this situation, trying to be understanding and not be vocal in a sense about how uncomfortable I was. But that's what I do. I tend to mask pretty heavily in situations like that, especially when I'm uncomfortable. But anyway, they were very nice. They addressed the blood pressure issue. They're like, okay, if you think that it could be pain, which it can be, they checked my ears for ear infection, nothing, because it was getting up into my ear. I'm feeling a little in my ear today, but not super bad. And they checked sinuses, everything. They ruled out anything else that could possibly be causing the tooth pain. And of course, they're not dentists, so I didn't expect a whole lot out of that in that regards. And they're like, okay, so what we'd like to do is we'd like to give you some pain medication and watch what happens to your blood pressure. We'll give it about an hour. I'm like, okay, no problem. Get the pain medication. Pain medication starts coming down. At this point, I'm pretty tired because I'd already spent 6 hours in the dentist's office. So I was just kind of leaning back and I was enjoying the fact that I could relax and I was not in a whole lot of pain. It didn't take the pain all the way away, but it took it from I'm not kidding, a 10 and dropped it to a 3. That is a huge difference. My blood pressure went bloop. It went way down. So yes, it was super high because of pain, but I was also still really stressed out and I was still in a spot where I was anxious. So I knew it was still up from that. So they did put me on blood pressure medication. I'm totally fine with that at this point. Just because life has been pretty stressful and I've been taking that. They were very kind to me. They wouldn't sign the release which is fine. And they're like, you're going to have to follow up with your PCM. I was like, sure, no problem. So I'm sitting in the hospital bed waiting for them to like let things do. So they ended up giving me the blood pressure medication too. A dose of blood pressure medication. And after they gave me the pain medication, I sat down and I made an appointment. I found out who my primary care is, and I saw her a few years ago. So she's my old primary care. Not super thrilled about it, but not thrilled about it. I mean, she was a decent PA. And I made an appointment. Well, I can't get in to see her till the end of July. And I let them know that, yeah, I do have an appointment. I made a follow-up appointment with my PCM. I'm going in July. They're like, that's a bit of a wait. And I said, yeah. And then the nurse was really nice. She's like, yeah, every time I make one, it's taking 6 to 8 weeks to get an appointment. So I thought that was really kind because she was sharing her experience and she was letting me know, like, I know it's far away and you're ups and that's stressful, but it's common. And I was like, okay, that made me feel better. So, and the ER doctor that I saw was great. He's like, well, I'm going to give you 30 days of blood pressure medicine. I was like, okay. And he goes, wait, when is your appointment? Because I told them I had it. And I said, July 29th. And he's like, that's a long time away. He goes, okay, I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to give you enough to get you to your appointment, which he did do, which I thought was really, really awesome. Very, very happy with the ER experience. I was happy with the treatment at the dentist because everybody was in there was nice. Like the people were nice. But I got home and I was just kind of done for the day and I didn't really have too much chance to really think. So I got up, went to work the next day, and I was feeling better because I took the antibiotics, my teeth were cleaned. I had some pain medication and things like that. And I started thinking, I was like, why were the only two options pull the tooth or get a root canal? Where was the conservative approach? Where was the take some antibiotics and let's wait? Where was a better dental exam to maybe consider that the issues that I'm having is from jaw clenching? Where was that side of it? And after I started taking the antibiotics, which I've got to go do in just a second because I just ate, and I'm feeling better. Which is good. So there probably was some mild infection there. I'm not going to say that there wasn't. But why wasn't a very conservative approach offered to me? So I kind of felt railroaded. So here in a little bit, I do have to call the dentist to cancel the rest of my treatment plan and my financing because I feel like I'm in a position now where things have improved. They're not 100% by any stretch of the means, but if I can keep it at where I'm at now, I can wait till I have dental insurance. Oh, I had 2 cavities in the treatment plan, included fillings for the 2 cavities and 2 cleanings and the tooth pull. It was still ridiculously expensive. Oh, and it also included a toothbrush that I had no idea, an electric toothbrush that's $200 that I had no idea that they were going to do. And then I had a prescription toothbrush and prescription mouthwash. And it seems like it was just things to just make it super expensive. And while I'm very happy that I was able to get in quickly and what treatment I got was beneficial, I will not say that it's not. Just not satisfied with that. Just not satisfied with that at all. So it's just been crazy. And then I've just been dealing with the pain. But I'm finally back to being able to eat softer foods. As long as it's not super cold or super hot, I'm generally pretty good. I can't do anything super crunchy or super chewy. I can chew more on the right side than I can the left. I've been keeping up with my teeth brushing and all that kind of stuff. And then I have done some other things, some other natural things. I got remineralizing gum, and I really do think that it is helping. It's very hard to start chewing at first, so I chew it on this side. But once I'm able to get it over to here, it does hurt when I'm chewing on the tooth, but after a few minutes, that tooth starts hurting less. So I can tell that whatever's the natural stuff is getting into the tooth, and it's making a difference. It's making an impact. So I'll have some gum here in a little bit. I try for at least once a day, but if I can do it 2 or 3 times a day, I do try to do that. They say you have to chew it for a minimum of 10 minutes, which is my goal. If I can chew it longer, they say go ahead and do it. It's not great tasting gum. It's not sweet, even though it has xylitol in it. It's not a sweet gum at all. But that's not why I'm chewing it. So I'm going to keep up with that, and I'm going to cancel the dental plan. I'm going to get my insurance, and I'm going to follow up. One thing that Matt and I are considering doing is, because I notice that my pain is worse in the morning, and I wake up with it sometimes as well. So, and I do notice that it can be from jaw clenching. I tend to sleep with my hand under my chin. So I think that is like pushing it up as well. So I'm actually making that worse. But I think with I'm just clenching my jaw super hard at night. So we're going to, probably in the next couple weeks, invest in some custom mouth guards. I've seen some places that do it for a reasonable amount, a couple $100s. So we're going to get those sent away, and then I'm going to follow up with a different dentist once I have my dental insurance, and let them do a thorough exam and just kind of go in from like, hey, I'm in a good place. I'm not in an emergency situation. What is really going on? And see what happens. I will definitely never get a root canal. Did research on that, and everybody said don't get a root canal. But I may not actually have to have the tooth pulled. We may be able to address the issue of the teeth clenching, which is what I think it is. They do say that caffeine consumption can lead to that. I don't drink alcohol, so I might try to cut my caffeine down, which is not. It's not big. I usually have 1 coffee, and I usually have like maybe a cup of tea, or very rarely like a diet type soda. But I don't drink those super often. And then I'll have like a Celsius. It's usually 1 coffee about this size and a Celsius. And that's pretty much my caffeine. So it's a lot of caffeine. I'm not going to say that it's not, but it's not as much as some people I know. My husband drinks a lot more caffeine than I do. I don't know. We might be the same. Anyway, so yeah, that wraps up the dental experience. And then I was feeling better on Sunday night. So I decided, I'm like, you know what? I haven't eaten hardly anything in days. I had gotten down to where I lost last week, like 5 or 6 pounds. It's back. I knew it would come back. So I've still maintained the 6 pounds that I lost 3 weeks ago. I've been maintaining that loss, so I'm very, very happy with that. I haven't really lost any more except from not eating. And I knew that would come back. But it's fine. Excuse me, I just have a bit of lettuce in my teeth. So yeah, we go out to dinner because I'm like, let's go get some brisket. I think that the brisket from Bubba Lou's is going to be soft enough that I can get through it. And I'm hungry because I hadn't eaten in several days other than some keto chow shakes, which I was very, very thankful for. Don't get me wrong. But 2 keto chow shakes, even with 4 tablespoons of butter, is only about 800 calories. And that's about what I was getting. And it's very, very low for me. It's low for most people. And I didn't really want any more than that. But after a few days of that, I was hungry and I wanted other food. So we decided to go to Bubba Lou's, and we're driving, and I'm on the phone just trying to get things done, not really paying attention. I look up and I hear my husband go, oh. And there is a giant semi-tire in tread in the middle of the road. Apparently what had happened is the car in front of us ditched the lane. Just ditched. They didn't slow down. They didn't do anything. They just immediately got over. But we were close, but not like close enough. But we're traveling at a higher rate of speed. So by the time we saw it, he didn't have time to react. So we hit it, messed up the whole front bumper of my car. It was kind of bad, but we were able to pop parts of it back in. And then there's parts where it was still like low. So we had to drive down the highway with the hazards on, doing about 40 miles an hour because it was scraping until we could get to a place where we could get a screwdriver and my husband can get it. There's like clips under the car where the bumper like sits on, and it clips into place. So he had to get a screwdriver to loosen some things to be able to pop it back up to get it to tighten. So he was able to get it like fixed. If I remember, I'll put in some pictures here. You can tell something was hit. There's part of the bumper that just, it won't go back in. It's held on with zip ties. I'm going to have to at some point bring it in and get an estimate to get it fixed. We're okay, and I'm thankful that we're okay. But it was just kind of like, really? It's just not been a good week to be me. Thankful for everything that was going on, like all the positives that came out of it and things like that. But I was just done. So I go to work yesterday. I'm feeling better, but I'm tired because it's been big thing after big thing. And I come home and we noticed on Saturday night that the AC wasn't working super great. And we're like, okay, well, we got to keep an eye on it. It's just continuing to run. It's not really cooling off. So we kept upping the temperature to try to get it to not run constantly because our electric bill last month was already way more expensive than we wanted it to be. It was over $300 and we have a 900 square foot apartment. So it shouldn't be that super expensive. I haven't done any major cooking or anything. It's not like I have my plant lights, but they're all LEDs, so they don't produce a lot of heat. They don't take a lot of energy anyway. It's very, very minimal. But yesterday it was 83 in here all day long. And add that in with pain and stress and not sleeping well anyway, I was very cranky last night. And I just was like, I just can't do it. I'm overstimulated is what it really should be. I shouldn't say cranky. I mean, I was cranky, but I was overstimulated. It was just too much was going on, and I just hadn't had any time to like relax, decompress, just move on with it. But we had a very uncomfortable night. We turned the fans on and we upped the AC as high as we could. It cooled to 80 degrees and then it reset this morning. We normally keep it at 74, 75. So not super chilly, not super warm either. I have it set right now at about 78 and it's coming on and coming off. It's able to maintain that 78 okay for now, but we haven't hit the afternoon yet. And I do leave the windows in the solarium open during the afternoon because that's the best light that my plants get. So if I didn't have plants there, I would probably close it, but it would still get pretty warm in here anyway. But it's just not keeping up. So we put in a request yesterday afternoon. So far, nobody's come. I'm putting in an emergency ticket. This is also the 4th time we've had air conditioning problems in the past month. The lines kept getting clogged, so they came out 3 or 4 times to unclog the lines, and now it's just not cooling. Matt has bought different filters. We stopped using the ones the office give us. We invested in good filters. We've cleaned the coils. We've done everything that we possibly can think of from a maintenance standpoint that we shouldn't have to do anyway because we rent. They're responsible for that, not us. But at the same time, it makes sense for it to do it because if we can handle it and we can make it better, then they don't have to come in the house, which works. So I don't mind doing some things because, we were previous owners and stuff like that. But I'm also not in a position to spend a bunch of money to invest in cleaning something and taking care of maintenance on something that they are responsible for. It might come down to it if they do not fix it right this time. I might have to have someone come out and look at it and fix it and then deduct it from my rent from their failure. But I'm also don't necessarily want to do that because I think that the apartment complex would give us a huge fight. And the kicker of it all is our lease is up. We can't, it's past the 60 days, so we would have to do a month. We can't afford to move. It's just not happening right now. But all this is happening and our lease is up. And I decided to go and like read reviews last night of the apartment complex, and they started out good and they're not good anymore. And I realized that because things have changed a lot in this apartment complex. We've been here 6 years now and drastically different. Well, the apartment upstairs is for rent. It's a 2-bedroom just like mine. It has new carpet, it has new flooring, and it is $300 less a month to rent that apartment than it is to rent my apartment, which has had nothing done to it in about 10 years. Because we've been here 6 and nothing was done to it for the people that lived here before. And I know for a fact that the people that lived here before lived 4 years, because when we were talking with the lady when we moved in, she goes, yeah, these were people really nice. We didn't have to do anything. They were in here 4 years. They were really happy to be here. And there's a lot of turnover in this apartment complex. So it's been 10 years since anything's been done. They don't even put carpet in the bedrooms on the first floor apartments anymore, and there's carpet in our bedrooms and stuff like that. So, and then we've had so many maintenance problems. Like there's a whole, like the paint and the plaster is starting to peel off underneath our air conditioning from where it was leaking. It's ruined the carpet in the bedroom. They've had to replace the bedroom door due to leak issues and air conditioning issues, which they never did paint it. So yeah, there's some serious things going on. That's not unlivable, but they refuse to fix things properly. They refuse to address it, and they're not going to address it until we leave. But part of me is like, they offered us a new lease, and while our rent only goes up like $20-something, $30, I think they said it was a month, they're still charging $300 less for new people. And part of me wants to see if we can fight that. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid that if we go to bat and try to negotiate the lease, which you can do, it is legal to do. Ghost. No, sir. And if we are able to get them to lower it, cool. I know that if we do that and we sign one more lease, they probably will not sign another lease with us, because what's the point? Because we will have argued with them. And I know from people who have done that and negotiated, they were kicked out the very next lease. Their leases were not renewed, which is fine. We're moving. We're going to sign a 14-month lease most likely and then move out. I just don't know if I want to go through all the stress and the hassle of negotiating the lease for them to say, well, fine, we're not going to renew your lease, and then we have nowhere to go. Yeah, so I feel very pigeonholed in a lot of ways and feel a lack of control over a lot of things, but it's okay. So Matt and I have a lot to talk about, but yeah, we're definitely going to move next year. We're saving to buy something. I don't think we'll be able to buy next year. I just don't think it. But if we can at least take our savings that we were saving for a house and move into something better, and hopefully 2 or 3 years after that, we will be able to buy. But we cannot continue to stay in this apartment. It's not fair. It's not fair that they charge us so much more than everybody else. And it's not cool that we have lots of maintenance issues that don't get done. I cannot tell you how much home maintenance Matt does around here. We've had leaks that we fixed. They've had pest problems on and off that we've had to deal with on our own. We're currently in a period where there are no pests, which is fantastic. But I'm sure we'll have more pest issues before. We've had mice, we've had lizards, we have snakes in here at times. And, we've made requests for them to fix things. Like there was a gap under our door that was letting in lizards and snakes and things like that. And we're just like, look, you can't, this is not cool. And again, they're responsible for maintaining the property, not us. But they just refuse to do it. So Matt has done a lot of things. He's like fixed a lot of little issues that, you know, we're comfortable fixing to make sure that snakes and lizards don't get in. I mean, he's fixed the garbage disposal several times because it goes out, just goes out. And we don't put stuff down there that we're not supposed to put down there, things like that. We've had to replace toilet seats because they replaced the toilet seat and it was just cheap and it broke. The ceiling fan, we had an accident and it broke the ceiling fan, and we reported it, you know, and expected like, hey, you're going to come out and maybe do something about it. They did nothing for months and months and months. So we ended up, I can't sleep without the fan. So after about 6 months of not having a fan in the bedroom, I said, I don't even care that the ceiling fan doesn't match. So we went out and we bought a ceiling fan. We've bought things to maintain the oven. We've bought things to maintain the fridge. All these things that we shouldn't have to do that they should be doing. And I'm just over it. So yeah, we'll definitely be signing, I think, a 14-month lease, if not a 12, but I think 14 would make me feel more comfortable, like feel like I have more time to prepare and find somewhere else to go. I don't know if we're going to stay in the area. I don't know if we're going to like just totally change directions and go somewhere else, get new jobs. I don't know what we're going to do. We have time to think about it. Most likely we'll end up staying in the area until we figure out where we want to buy. But yeah, and it's really sad because we're paying for just a standard. We're not luxury apartments by any stretch of the means, but you could move into by the time you add all of our rent, what our rent is, you could move into a brand new, and I do mean brand new, 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with more square footage that we have for about $300 more than we're paying. Luxury apartment, by the way, for $300 more than we're paying. Yeah, and we're still paying $300 over what people are paying. So I could be living a completely different life. But it is what it is. All right, well, I am going to stop chatting with you and I'm going to get some things done, and I will show you what I have for my second meal. But now, before it gets too far after I ate, I do need to go and get my antibiotics and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to carry on with my day. I'll keep you updated if they come for the AC and let you know how things are going. But hopefully this week will be a better week. I miss recording videos, but I just don't have the capacity for it right now, brain-wise, because it's applied to areas where it needs to be. And by the time I'm done just dealing with all the stress of the little things that keep popping up, I have no energy to put into this. And I don't like to invest in the channel when I don't mentally feel like I can, because this is something that I very much enjoy and I want to keep it a joyful activity. I don't want it to become like a habit or a chore. So I'm sorry there haven't been much videos lately. It's just been life. It's just been a lot, and I've had to just deal with life. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a complaint. We all do it, but it is what it is. All right. Well, I will check in with you when I finally have my second meal. All right. I got my new bathing suits and I'm wearing one. If I can get a picture somehow of me in it, I'll try to do that for you because it's super, super cute. This one is like a shorts type outfit and it's got pockets and it's tropical and it's fun and it fits perfectly. So I am going to head out to the water park for just a little while to enjoy the day. All right, made it to Blizzard Beach. Gonna go find a seat. Around the lazy river, and now I'm gonna go on the hunt for either some coffee. Do you know the time? Yes, it is 1:17. Thank you. And then I'm gonna look for maybe something to eat because it is almost 1:30 and I should be eating my second meal. So we're gonna see if we can find any options. If we can't find any options, that's okay too. It's almost 2 o'clock. I didn't get any food. I didn't really look. I got hot and my jaw started hurting and I forgot to bring pain medication with me. I haven't had anything since about like 10 o'clock. So it's been several hours. It's time for another dose of Tylenol. So I'm just gonna go home, but I did enjoy a nice little float for a little bit. So it was nice to get out of the house and enjoy wearing my new swimsuit. And this one, I think I'm just gonna keep on for the rest of the day because it's shorts and I still want to do my workout. So this will be a perfect workout outfit as well. And then I can jump in the shower after that. So, all right, I'll check in when I have some food. I think when I get home, there's one more creamy in the freezer and that sounds amazing. So I think I'm gonna make that. Update, they came and worked on the AC apparently while I was gone. My daughter said it was up to 85 in here, so it's now 79, which is a lot better than 85. So they said if it's still not really cooling, she said we had too much Freon, but they said that last time. And she also said that the app for our Nest thermostat was fighting against it and shutting the AC off. And I was like, I don't know how much I buy that, but it could be true, but it doesn't sound true. So whatever, it's cooling for now. And we'll see. I have a raspberry creamy with some whipped cream. So that will be my last meal of the day. So I'm gonna go enjoy it and watch some 911 and then I might take a nap too.